was destroyed at the beginning of the movie. I think it's called the Half-Blood Prince. When we move here, even St. Paul is also inside the movies as well. Yeah, left inside there, you see that bridge over there? Well, it's not the Millennium Bridge here, we call it the Millennium Bridge. Some people call it the Wobbly Bridge, but children call it Harry Potter's Bridge. To stop at every place, it might not be possible. I know sometimes people say, David, stop. It might not be possible to stop at every place. Now, I am going to take you into the most expensive areas of London. I don't know if you ever play these Monopoly games. Yeah, British Monopoly or English Monopoly. This is the most expensive square on the board game. £400. You know, if you want to buy Mayfair. Today, if you want to buy Mayfair, one building, you probably have to spend a little bit more. Yeah, you have Rolls Royce there, you have Bentley here. Yeah. Now, you have seen Oxford Street, but Oxford Street is our standard merchandise. Now you come down to Bond Street. Bond Street is exclusive and also very expensive. Yeah, it's all merchandise here. You can see Hermes, you can see Burberry, you can see Louis Vuitton, Chanel's. Yeah, I mean, you can buy a handbag here for maybe £25,000. Well, you can't actually buy it because they don't usually have it in stock. You have to be regular customers before they sell you a £25,000 handbag. Okay, now this is Bond Street. Yeah, New Bond Street. These are different now. This is all designers. These are all super brands that you see there. So, because this is Mayfair, you see, this is a super rich people who live here. Sometimes you see lots of lovely cars. You see Mercedes, you see BMWs. These are servants' cars that park here. Okay, we are going to turn right now. Regent Street. This is another shopping street now. These are very lovely area, buildings and all that. The land still belong to the Crown Estates. The Crown Estates, which used to belong to our monarch. Left hand side, you see Hamleys. Hamley has 6 floors, about 6 units. Toys, the world famous toy stores. Yeah, it is lovely to travel London on Sunday morning. But anyway, we'll see little traffic shortly now because we're going into the road closure area. So there might be a little bit of traffic later on. In front of you is the heart of the entertainment district of London. And the heart is known as Piccadilly Circus. In the middle of the circus, or the roundabout, you have a fountain and the statue of Cupid, Eros, or Angel of Christian Charity. Well, it's a monument to one of our noblemen, Lord Shaftesbury. Now, Piccadilly will be on your right hand side if you want to take photographs. Around here, there are theatres, there are cinemas, there are nightclubs, there are casinos, there are cafes, restaurants, naughty places as well. This is the entertainment district. This is known as Piccadilly, or West End is known as West End. London Main Chinatown is here. London Main Red Light District is also here. But look to your right hand side there. That is Piccadilly Circus. Today it's empty. Yeah, of course, because it's morning, Sunday morning. Yeah. Some of them still in the club. Most of the people come out from the club. Well, must be out by now. Usually 7 o'clock. They stack it out from the nightclub on Sunday morning. Is Trafalgar Square, a commemorative area for one of our greatest naval heroes, Lord Nelson, Admiral Viscount Lord Nelson, who defeated Napoleon III 210 years ago, an area outside Cape Trafalgar in Spain. Yeah, a very decisive battle. Unfortunately, he was killed. He was shot and died at battlefield on board HMS Victory. Yeah. This one, you have two. It's not this one. The one on the left. It will cost George, our driver, a little bit. There's a parking space on the right hand side. You see that bit that is pull inside there? And then you've got the right side as well, so you get off without being taken away by the car or the bus. That you will not get to see is the changing of the car, because it takes place in front of Buckingham Palace. It's impossible today because there are 60,000 people ending up at Buckingham Palace today. Yeah, what you will see some of the runner. George, go there and straight down, yeah? Now, if you remember 90 Days Around the World, there's a book, there's a movies and all that. It starts from the Reform Club. Yeah, the two gentlemen betting against one another that one person can travel the world in 80 days. This is beginning from one of these gentlemen club here. Yeah, the Army and Navy Club, the RAC Club, the Oxford and Cambridge Club, they're all here. There's one palace here. About 500 years old. So, a newly appointed ambassador would have to bring his credential here at Court of. He has to present his credential here at Court of St. James. You look to your right hand side, you have many of gentlemen's needs. You have wine, you have hat, you have shoes, you have boots, you have guns, you have yacht. Gentlemen need a yacht as well. Yeah, this is all gentleman area. You can see shaving things. Yeah, you can have cane, you can have riding accoutrement. Yeah, you can buy a yacht here. Look, left hand side, 6 million, 7 million pounds. You can buy cigar. This is all gentleman areas of London. The Ritz or Ritzy. Yeah, this is the Ritz Hotel. Not the first though, the second. The first one was in Paris. Yeah, it was opened by Mr. Cesar Ritz. But he's on, you have seen Hyde Park. This is Green Park. And Buckingham is on the left. We're going round to Buckingham. Now, Buckingham Palace is very new. Actually, it's the newest palace here in this country. It started as a house of our noblemen. The last person who sold the house to King George III was the Duke of Buckingham. So we call his house Butterroom. A little bit to the right hand side, in front, you have a statue of a man on a horseback beside the tree. Inside the roundabout, the Duke of Wellington. He defeated Napoleon 200 years ago at the battle known as Waterloo. You look to your right hand side again, you see one building, yellow color with a flag on top. That is his house. Well, still being used by his family, his descendants. That is known as Number 1 London. So you have Number 1 London on the right hand side, the statue of the Duke of Wellington, and the Victory Arch. This is another commemorative area. Yeah, this is for the Duke of Wellington. This is 200 years ago. Now, this back section, this is where the horses are stable, the carriages, the limousines, and some of the servants live here. This is known as the Royal Mews. Yeah, this is the back of the palace. everything is on your left hand side. Now that bridge is closed, that's why we cannot cross over there. Otherwise you see London Eye closer, but that bridge is closed.
and gentlemen, behind the ships, if you take a look in between the ships in a few moments, you will see that behind these ships, you'll see a big white and square building, which is the Maritime Museum of Amsterdam, which was built there in the year 1656 and was built in only 9 months' time to house the arsenal of the Navy of that time. Now, this here is nowadays our Maritime Museum.
This is the residence of the royal family. The current residence of the royal family. They have one more palace near. There's one structure called as Atomium here in Brussels. It's just a little bit on the outskirts where the ring road of Brussels is located. That is where they stay now. They've all come performed here. When you look at those round circles at the main balcony, on top of the main balcony, you can see the bust of all the famous musicians who have performed here. You see the movie Queen? She's crossing the road on the in front of the opera house on the left hand side. On the left hand side is a famous Le Grand Hotel. It's one of the expensive hotels. There are lots of expensive hotels. The most expensive hotel is there in Paris, Ritz, owned by Muhammad Al Fayed, who is the father of Dodi Al Fayed, who died along with Lady Diana in the car accident.
Nice.
This square is actually called the square of Étoile. Étoile means star. Napoleon's wife Josephine could not give him a child, and that is why he had to divorce Josephine, and he married for the second time, and he was married to the niece of Queen Marie Antoinette, and she gave him a son. Unfortunately, this son did not live long, and that is why his brother's son succeeded him as Napoleon III.
So we just crossed that bridge here, and from there we turned right straight to the Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Like vegetarian.
Reading GPS.
So you can see that the buildings are all have the same color. They are all equal in height. Why are they all equal in height? Because it is the width of the street which determine the height of the buildings. Okay, and the second floor was reserved for first nobles, and then the fourth and fifth floors were reserved for the second nobles, and the top floor was reserved for servants. In those days, that is the second half of the 19th century, these were the kind of construction which was imposed by Napoleon III and his mayor, who was called Horseman.
So we go to the northeast pillar, the next one on the safe.
So what is it you can see on the left hand side is that until the first floor, you can see the base is expanded as concerned to the construction on the top. The base is expanded. First two engineers, Nougier and Gauchelin, designed the Eiffel Tower, which was just straight at 4 triangles. But this project, when it was placed, it was rejected, and there was a third engineer by name Sauvest, who expanded the base, the 4 bays of the Eiffel Tower. And with this, what he did was, he had brought in stability for this construction. The Eiffel Tower is lit by lamps. It has got 330 lamps illuminating the structure from inside, but there are 20,000 glittering lamps. reminder of the Crystal Palace in London. So facing the Grand Palais on the right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Petit Palais on the right hand side. What is most important is you can see this wonderful grill gate on the facade. This is called the Beaux-Arts style of construction. How beautiful it is, this entrance with the grill gate. So this was the kind of construction in the 1900s. So on the left is the Grand Palais, on the right is the Petit Palais or the small palace. So right ahead of us you can see a dark green color gate. It is behind the green color coach. Can you see with gilded stuffings? So this is the garden entrance to the President's Palace. Who is the President of France? The President of France is called François Hollande. So he lives here in this building, and this is the garden entrance, and we are now entering the most famous avenue in the world. This is called Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées is a Greek word, and Champs-Élysées means road to paradise.
By Victor Hugo, it's mentioned. It's a very, very important church, and this was a church which has been used for coronation of Napoleon. Napoleon's self-coronation took place here at this church. See the number of people here? It's a very, very busy area. And these bookstall you see on your right, this green bookstall, yeah, people own this. This is a very old culture. So even when the city was developing, they never let go of this. People sell here old books, postcards and posters and certain vintage items as a collector people buy. So they sell over here. A very different type of souvenir. So, people usually you see them walking down on a hot summer day. This place is converted into a beach. They bring sand and they place over here, and then people are lazing around on the sand. So very soon you will see one bridge coming to your right. It's a metal bridge. You see this bridge? Yeah, this was the bridge. It's called Louvre, and this is the bridge where they used to tie locks. All the locks are removed. And on your right hand side, you can see that is a Louvre Museum. The entire building complex is a U-shaped building, which is Louvre Museum, world's biggest museum. Now this entire, it starts from here. This is the first pillar, goes all the way up to the end, turns around, comes all the way around, and ends on the other side. It's divided into 4 sections, and the most famous section of this museum is Dinan. Yeah, right. And the Dinan section is the one where you will find the most famous painting of Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa. So to your left, you can see one open garden, a big, huge garden. This is called as the Tuileries Garden now. This was originally the Royal Palace, the Tuileries Palace, Da Vinci Code here. If you see in the movie that glass pyramid where he comes, is right here in this music. The first scene that took place, the killing of Sonia, he's killed and his body is lying. It's in this museum, that was Louvre Museum.
There is another arch. This arch is called the Arc of Carousel, and through the arch you can see the obelisk, the Arc of Triumph, and Arc of La Défense, all standing in one straight line. Can you see it? This is called the perspective. So the Louvre seat of power, pyramid, Arc of Carousel, obelisk, Champs-Élysées, Arc of Triumph, and Arc of La Défense, all standing in one straight line, which is called the perspective. So yesterday I was talking about the perspective from the obelisk, but the perspective starts right from here, from the Louvre Museum, where the seat of power is. So the three most important things to be seen at the Louvre Museum are the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa, the painting of Mona Lisa, which was made by Leonardo da Vinci between the years 1503 to 1507. And then two other statues. One is for the Winged Victory of Samothrace, and then the other is called the Venus of Milo. These two statues are so famous because they are original Greek statues, a very rare collection, and they are more than 2000 years old. That is why it is so special. So the Venus of Milo and the Winged Victory of Samothrace are the most important sculptures. So this building was the source of inspiration for Thomas Jefferson. You can see the statue of Thomas Jefferson coming up on the right hand side on the base of this bridge. So in this bridge, this metallic bridge, also you can see that there are some locks in the center. So these are the love locks. So the love locks on the Lovers Bridge became so heavy, one of the barricades fell off, and luckily it didn't fall on anybody's head. So for security reasons, they have stopped this habit. Thomas Jefferson came to Paris as a student. He fell in love with Paris, and then he came to Paris as an ambassador of the United States, and then he came to Paris. He went on to become the president of the United States. So on the right hand side, you can see across the river, you can see a building. This building is called the Museum of Orangerie. Why so many museums? There are 100 museums in Paris. So much of dedication for art. Okay, on the other bank, you can see there are some boats. These are all houseboats. These are all houseboats. So the people of Paris will have to pay, those who live in these houseboats have to pay a heavy rent to the mayor of Paris.
You see, this place is again we are heading to the Concord Square in the center. On your right coming is a very famous restaurant called Max Sips. You see this? It's a very expensive restaurant here. Probably a burger would cost you about 400-450 euro. Okay, this served with a smile. But after having this burger, people find McDonald's. Big banana. Go to McDonald's. And in that corner, on that corner, right there, that is American Embassy where the trees are. And behind that next building is a Hotel Del Trio.